UPDATE 4 AITA for cutting contact with my childhood best friend because she demanded that I break up with my fiancé. I don't really know how to start this, so yeah. Mary hasn't tried to contact me again, but she started sending videos of her having fun with herself to Dave. It's been 3 so far, and they've all been sent through different burner accounts. He didn't respond to any of them, and we don't really know what we should do about it. He gets sent videos like that quite often, but it's usually just 1 video per person, not 3 in a row sent by the same one, which makes them easier to ignore/block. So far, he's obviously deleted all videos she sent him and blocked her on every account through which she tried to contact him. He hopes that if he's not going to respond that she'll stop soon, and, well, I hope so too. It's honestly getting annoying hearing my ex-best friend moan my fiancé's name. I also met up with my mom today. She texted me yesterday and asked me to meet up. She knows that Julian and Mary broke up and also knows the reason for it. I don't know how she's gotten the story. It apparently was a weird mismatch of Julian, Mary, and Mary's mom. My mom was pretty distraught when she told me this, and all of it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Mary told her this, Julian told her that, and so on. She ended up believing Julian over Mary for whatever reason. Now, maybe it was because last time I met up with my mom, I told her that Mary's interested in Dave, and that obviously matches Julian's story? I have no idea. I also don't know why Julian told her. I've asked him to talk to my mom after some people suggested it in the comments, but he seemed pretty apprehensive. I guess he ended up telling her anyway. Overall, she was very apologetic for not believing me and siding with Mary. She also asked me if Mary tried anything with Dave so far, and I told her about the videos. She's really mad at Mary and has blocked her number for now, and also wants to limit contact with Mary's mother, as far as I know, but doesn't really know how to go about it yet. They share a lot of hobbies and are basically in all the same clubs, book, sports, and so on. Typical late 50s mom stuff, basically. So yeah, I guess everything's fine. I'm still gonna keep my distance from her, but she seemed very genuine about wanting to make things right. We're on a better path now, still not great, but we're getting there. This might also be the last update, unless something big should happen, but if everything's gonna stay the way it's right now, there's not much to update on. Edit. I just wanted to address some things people have said in the comments. Dave gets sent videos like that quite often. He's a performer. Most of his concerts are in bars/festivals, and people get drunk quickly, which then results in fans doing weird things/overstepping boundaries. I have no say in whether he's filing a police report. I can advise him, but he's the one who has to go through with it. We're not going to show these videos to anyone. Mary's mother and my mom can know about them, but there's no point in showing/sending those to them. It's private, and they don't have to see that. Story 2, AITA for not allowing my ex and former best friend to take my kids out of state for a week to heal and recover after she was left unable to have children. I have 2 children under 12 with my ex. We divorced 5 years ago after I found out he and my former best friend were having an affair. They both tried to apologize and asked for it to not ruin everything, but their actions had already ruined everything. I hate the 2 of them. I no longer care about how they're doing. But for my kids' sake, I remain civil. I have never badmouthed them to my kids. I have never told my kids what happened. I would never want my kids to be harmed more by their father's actions than they already were. And the divorce was tough for them, and they had a hard time coming to terms with the changes. They still need therapy for some adjustment issues that have remained. My former best friend hasn't helped it either by trying to continue on as best friends despite her actions. It also didn't help that the kids went from their parents living together to their dad living with mom's former friend. But again, my primary focus has been my children. I love my kids more than I hate those 2 repulsive individuals. I love my kids more than myself, which is why I work so hard to be civil in front of my kids, because the last thing I wanted was to make nice with them. But my kids love their dad, and that has never changed. My ex and this woman are now married, and they tried to have children together. In December, she had her 10th miscarriage and had to be rushed to the hospital and into surgery, which left her unable to get pregnant again. I got a call from ex telling me all this and asking me to bring the children to the hospital to stay until she was ready to leave. It was my parenting time, so I told him I would not bring them to sit and wait. He was very unsettled and told me to bring the kids by and he'd get them to ask me to let them stay. I told him that wasn't happening. He made no more contact after that, and he didn't take the kids for his parenting time either, or contact me about it. His mom reached out, and she told me he refused to leave the hospital. He didn't see them until his parenting time came around again, and she was released. There was a new tension in the air at that point. He was furious with me for keeping the kids from sitting vigil in the hospital with him. Now we have another dilemma that's become an issue. My ex booked a healing getaway for them, and they want the kids to go along. It happens during my week, and it's a school week. He also wants to take his weeks as normal, before and after that. So he would have them for 3 consecutive weeks. From what he stated, he would potentially keep them out of school for that long so the kids can be there to help her recover and grieve knowing she has them, was how he explained it to me. I said no, and I explained that I was not letting him take them out of school for a week just for her. I told him the kids are not their emotional support to get them through this, and therapy is significantly better. I told him I didn't approve of them missing extended school time period, but I wasn't giving up my week for it. He tried to state the week he missed should be made up for. But our court-ordered parenting plan states, if a parent voluntarily doesn't take their week, without an agreed-upon makeup period, then the other doesn't need to give up a week in return. I pointed this out to him, and he asked me how I could be so by the book about this. He said human decency would state I should be willing to put aside our differences at a time like this, and that school isn't more important than family. He asked me how I would feel if she ends her life because of this, and my refusal was part of the reason why. I told him I wouldn't feel anything. I told him they lost all their rights for me to feel something for them when they betrayed me, and I would not be manipulated into agreeing. He's pushing very hard for this and trying to guilt me into agreeing. I know I might be overly harsh in my response to this, so I wanted to ask if people believe I'm wrong or not.